just wondered if you could share some, now that you've had a chance to process it a little, share some final thoughts from the game, the environment, and then sort of the way that that last drive unfolded from the 3rd and 4 becoming a 3rd and 14, and then into the end of the game.
Yeah, obviously, still pretty close to the game. Emotions are still pretty high, even though we had a little time to compress. But the 3rd and 4 going to 3rd and 14, that was obviously 100% my fault. I can't do that. Gonna think about that one for a while. It's just a mistake in crunch time that just can't happen. Fortunately, it did, and I hurt the team because of it. So I'm gonna think about that one for a while.
What was you guys messaged to each other, especially veterans, to the younger players after, obviously, again, emotions were high, but after the game, and then what's your message to a young team heading into this off season?
Um, it was obviously season didn't. I think everyone still wanted to keep going. Everyone still wanted to keep playing like it. Like we were having fun playing ball. It ended too soon. Um, but the message to the young guys is that just don't underestimate the work it takes to get to this point. Obviously, when you have success early on, making the playoffs your rookie year, you can almost kind of be clouded with how hard it is to do that. I think the guys put in enough work this season to turn to turn the ship around and at the end of the day make the playoffs. But there's a lot of guys that have full careers in this league and don't ever get a chance to do that. So it's we were obviously proud of what we did, but like I said, ended too soon. Everyone was having too much fun.
And then last for me, I know this is not your decision, but in terms of the off season, how important, I'm talking about Kevin Dotson coming up as a potential free agent. And I know it's not your call or anything like that. I understand that. But for you, watching what this line has been through over the last couple of years, how important is continuity and continued progress along that front and growth with continuity?
Yeah, obviously, I thought Kevin did a great job coming in here. Stepping into his first game with the Indianapolis game. He's a big, strong, physical guy. He's a great presence in the meeting room. He's funny as all heck. Just a great guy to be around. So, kind of like you mentioned, obviously not my decision. And however it shakes out, I'm just a Kevin Dotson fan from here on out. But obviously having continuity in the O-line is important. But that's if it is somebody new and Kevin goes out and makes $400 million a year, which I hope he does. That's what OTAs and everything are for. To go ahead and get that continuity. But if it can't be K Dot, I'm a huge Kevin Dotson fan. But like I was kind of saying, this is at the end of the day, this is a business. So he's got to make the best business decision. Same for the Rams. And like I said, man, it just couldn't be happier to know the guy and having to play next to him. It was an incredible experience.
Thanks, Rob.
Yep, thanks, Jordan.
Adam?
Hey, Rob. On Sunday, Sean was talking about how, this team and the young guys on it really helped him find his way again, was how he put it. I'm curious, what differences you saw from Sean from last year to this year, and if you could kind of see some of that joy in football seeping back into his style again.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of hitting on Sean's point, when some of the older guys have kind of talked about this with Sean. It's just you watch just some of the just the absolute joy that some of these young guys play with. Talking about a Steve Avila, in particular, obviously I see him every day, and he's in the room. But just the just kind of the joy and the the kind of life he brings around the game, just having this being his first NFL experience, everything's new to him. And he goes about his business that way, but he's just a joyful guy. So, with enough of those guys in the room, are just happy to be out there, happy to play, happy to learn, which is one of the biggest things I think our rookies did a great job with. Nobody was, took themselves too seriously. Everyone just wanted to continue to get better. And the way they, kind of brought life and juice to everything. And, you walk around a Kobe Turner, a guy hasn't had a bad day yet. I don't think he's going to. So, with Sean and, especially for some of those older guys, it's just awesome to be around and kind of see and just, kind of see the funny reactions on practice, game days, whatever, it may be. It's just kind of just an uplifting experience. And, seeing what I saw from Sean, he was kind of similar boat as, a lot of the rest of us older guys, where it's, it's hard not to be, affected by that much kind of joy and just, happiness about going about and, playing better football. And, it was a lot of fun this year.
And you touched on Steve. Where do you feel like is the next step for him now that he's gotten his feet wet, experienced the NFL, and gets a full off season, to take that next step?
Yeah, I thought, Steve did an, excellent job this year. Made the all rookie team, well-deserved. Guy plays well. It's, as anything with an offensive lineman, it's, chasing perfecting your craft, which is something you're never going to do. So it's always that pursuit. So it's, kind of figuring out how to go about an actual off season. Cause I told the rookies kind of when we were going in that, last stretch of games, they've been playing football since, their senior year of college or junior or whenever guys come out. But, you go straight from that to training, to the combine, to, if you're lucky enough to make it, to training again, to the, all-star games, to training again for OTAs, then you're in OTAs, then you train for training camp, and then you're in the thick of it. So, they've been playing football for, almost a year and a half straight. So, once you finally get this off season to, really kind of figure out how to go about your routine, your schedule, what works for you. And, with them, with the nature of young guys, they're young, so they don't know. And so, I think we have great leadership in our building to, if anyone needs help, needs advice, definitely talk to some of the guys who've been around. But I think Steve did a great job. So he's just got to, figure out an NFL offseason and, get ready to go.
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, thank you.
So, hey, Rob, appreciate you making the time this morning. Thanks for doing this.
Of course.
I know you've talked about Steve a little bit already, but when we asked Michael Core about him, I think it was last week or maybe the week before, one of the things he brought up was just how his consistency and practice habits and things like that related to his work ethic changed positively over the course of the season. I'm curious, what did you see in that regard, whether it was, like I said, meetings, practices, anything like that with Steve specifically?
Sorry, who said that?
LaFleur.
LaFleur, got it.
LaFleur,
okay. Yeah, no, it's, kind of like I was speaking on before, just before this, about learning how to be, to handle an NFL offseason is, learning how to practice in the NFL, learning how to lift, how to, kind of go about it the right way. And so I think that, there's obviously going to be growth in that. And I think Steve's, I 100% know, I don't think Steve is that type of guy to go ahead and take the learning opportunities and, continue to, do things a little better each day. And that's one thing you saw with Steve. He built a great foundation, and, I'm excited for, what he can do in the future. I think the sky's the limit for that kid. He's he's a big, strong, powerful kid, can bend well, moves real well. I think we all saw that versus the, the Giants clip. So we're, excited for Steve.
And then McVay also mentioned post game just the confidence this group had going into the playoff game, and obviously the disappointment from the result, but the combination of those two things, in your opinion, how can that be a motivating or I guess galvanizing factor for this team going into the offseason, being able to build off of both of those feelings?
Yeah. As a lot of people take this time to reflect, myself included, there's a lot of confidence that we can draw from this past year. And so, I've always been a big believer in, whenever a new year does start, last year is just, it's all experience. There's never picking up right where you left off, just because of the nature of the NFL. There's going to be different players, different coaches, we're going to do things a little bit differently, kind of to adapt to a changing NFL game. But it's all experience. And so, the more that you can get in a positive way. And I think that's what, Sean created, a culture this year, especially, of just, going about things the right way and just working on playing better football, being a better football player, being a better teammate, and keeping everything, just a, positive environment around. So, we'll learn from the experience. Obviously, everything's still kind of fresh, and watching the games last night was a little, kind of didn't know which way to feel about it. And, but, excited for the young guys to, have that good experience and, continue this thing the right way.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, dude.
Maria?
Hey, Rob, thanks for doing this morning.
Sure.
You have already experienced the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. How do you sort of process this time? I mean, we always talk about adversity changing us. How does the adversity kind of put you into a better position mentally for even next season or approaching the off season?
Yeah. I've won a Super Bowl. I've lost a Super Bowl. I've lost in the playoffs. I've won in the playoffs. Like I said, it's all just experience, and, you have to be confident in yourself as a man to really know where you want to go, what you want to do, what you want to get out of this game that, is only going to take up so many years of your life. And so it's just, it's an unbelievable, humbling experience to, still be in the NFL, still have a chance to play. And especially to play with some of the teammates that I have, and, been very fortunate in that aspect, but it's, man, it's just a fun time,
Yeah, it's a tough time for sure. How do you get away from it for a while, or are you right back into working out? How do you sort of deal with the time?
Yeah. As I've gotten a little bit older, it's definitely not like, kind of, how it was in the past, or maybe some guys, take a couple months off and, go to, this, that, and the other, and fly around the world and do all that fun stuff. Can't really do that. So we'll kind of start getting back going here sooner rather than later. But just in kind of keeping the body moving, keeping the body healthy. Trying to get a jump start on what we can do next year. And for right now, I'm just gonna focus on being the best dad that I can. That's something that can kind of get not left at the wayside during the season, but I don't want to say take a back burner either, just because obviously family is the number one thing for me. But there's definitely certain sacrifices you have to make throughout the season for being a dad. So right now I'm just gonna enjoy my kids, play with them, take them to school, pick them up, and all that fun stuff that I don't really get to do during the season.
Very good. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Maria.
Gary?
Hey, Rob, thanks again for doing this. Appreciate it. Just looking back, I know you want to look forward. I was just curious, though, what was it like playing in that particular environment at Ford Field? I know you've been in all kinds throughout your career, but it struck me what was that like in particular? It seemed like from start to finish, that crowd never stopped.
Yeah, no, it was a great playoff experience. It was our atmosphere, experience. Wasn't the result we wanted, but the atmosphere was unreal. It was loud. It was loud the whole game. It's something you just love playing in. It's it was a great playoff environment, Gary.
Mm-hmm. And just we sit on the outside looking in, but it just strikes me that this season and the progress that you guys made with a lot of young players, it feels a little bit like 17 going into 18, where you guys had gotten to a point where you got to the playoffs and positioned, with some additions to really make a run. I'm just curious from the inside, even though you said every year is different, does it have a sense of that now that that this group has, the young players have developed a little bit, that you're ready to maybe make that next kind of step?
Yeah, I mean, we're still pretty early in the off season. And every team is going to be a little different. But with the young core that we have, I think if these guys take which I know they will, we have very mentally tough young guys, and take this last year's experience and just roll it on the next year. I think why not? But we'll come to that here in a little bit down the road.
Mm-hmm. And then finally, for me, I'm sure when you come into the league, you want to have a long career, but most guys in the NFL really don't get that opportunity. You're coming up on 10 years, playing 10 years in the NFL. You reflect on that at all, or you just keep barreling ahead? I mean, you've had a long career by league standards.
Yeah, no, you reflect on it. Me and my wife talk a lot, and as the kids are getting older, things are more scheduled, and school starts coming into the equation and everything like that. But me and my wife do reflect on it. Coming back, especially from the the St. Louis days, and it's been a great career so far, and yeah, just all right, just still pretty soon after Sunday, so I'm just thinking a little bit.
All right. Well, thanks very much. Thanks again for doing this.
Thanks, Gary.
We'll wrap up. Jordan has more. We'll wrap up early.
Thanks, Rob. Just one more. Just hearing you talk and deprocess a little bit as you go here. Some players talk about when a season ends suddenly like this, it's almost an adrenaline crash. You're in a process and a routine, and you're so focused on the day and the task at hand, and then all of a sudden your entire environment changes. How do you handle that? And then how do you hope and advise the young players to handle that, I guess, sudden change situation?
Yeah, no, it's not the easiest thing to do in the world. You don't just slap on the Hawaiian shirt and head off to wherever and just be good to go. Obviously this means a lot to a lot of us, and this game and this team and this organization means a lot to me personally. So to be honest with you, it's not the easiest thing to do. It's kind of like a little crash course in of reality. But like I was speaking on before, with my kids, I got 3 of them now. It's they're excited Daddy plays football and everything like that, and but it's the best thing about them is I come home from a bad day of practice or something, I'm frustrated about something, or something like that. It's they don't really care that much. They just want their dad back and be around to be play with them, and that's something that's helped me throughout the season. So when especially when the off season started the way it did, and the season ended the way it did, it's always good to lean on them, and kind of what we're talking about, the young guys having that kind of unbridled joy was kind of the same thing with my kids, and just dive head first and do some of the sacrifices I've had throughout the season with my family, and just pour into them as much as I can, and the same support that they've given me throughout the season. I get to be able to give that back to them starting now.
Thanks, Robin. Thanks very much for your time today and all season.
Oh, yeah, of course. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.